own rulership, man. Right? Growing up.
And filled the whole earth.
Right?
This is the dream.
Yeah, we're going to fill, meaning it's going to be a real world empire. Meaning we're going to rule the whole world.
Right, man.
In the essence of the earth.
Because all these different empires, they were just extended empires that took up more room of the earth. And really, now they're trying to get establish themselves to spread over a larger empire. But really, that ain't gonna happen, man. Where we at?
This is the dream.
This is a dream.
Yeah.
And we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king.
Right.
Thou, O king, art a king of kings. For the God of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field, and the fowls of the heathen, hath he, and of the heavens, hath he given into thine hand.
Right, so the Lord gave Nebuchadnezzar his rulership. The Babylonians their rulership.
Right.
Carry on.
And hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this.
Sorry, say that again. Read that again. Have made them what?
And hath made thee ruler over them all.
Right, so there weren't no one ruling with the Babylonians when they were ruling. They were ruling over everyone. Go on.
Thou art this head of gold.
So he was the head of gold, meaning the Babylonian Empire was the head of gold. Right? So that's an empire, that was a race of people ruling over everyone else. That's how the Most High rose. Going up.
And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee.
Okay, what was that kingdom that rose? Who took down the Babylonians? Right? Who? The Medes. Go on.
Another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom,
right,
brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth.
Right, that's the Greeks.
And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron.
Right.
For as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things.
Right, that's the Roman Empire. Now you could line this up with any historical book out there. For you people out there, you want to scoff about the Bible's been changed, all this garbage. Go check history and see if the Babylonians didn't rule, and then the Medo-Persian Empire didn't rule, and then the Greeks, and then the Romans. Those are the four empires, which the Medo-Persian Empire was a two-part empire.
Right.
Right? But those are the four empires which ruled over the earth, from Babylon all the way down to the Roman Empire. Carry on.
From verse 40.
Right.
And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron.
Right. Strong as iron. The Roman Empire was very strong, militarily, right? Go on.
For as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise.
Right. Go on.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes.
This is the second leg of the Roman Empire. See, this is still the same people, same empire, but it's a second leg. Right? That's what we're in today. This is why it's very relevant. Go on.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay.
Right.
And part of iron.
Right.
And kingdom shall be divided.
The kingdom shall be divided. Go on.
But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron.
Right, in it there shall be the strength of, this new Roman Empire, this Neo-Roman Empire, it had the strength of the old Roman Empire, go on, which is the military power, i.e. Russia, America, go on.
For as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay.
Yeah.
And as the toes of the feet were part of iron, and part of clay,
right?
So the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken.
Now we were just reading about that. You see, the kingdom is partly strong because Germany ain't having no problems like what? Greece, Ireland, Spain, Portugal, and certain of these, what they call the Eastern Bloc. The Eastern Bloc, like Romania, it's an EU, it's all together in one. Right, the NATO, the 10 countries, which all the little countries which spilled out of it, right? And it's partly weak and partly strong. Germany is strong. you can argue, say Britain is like it's one of the stronger ones, right? But the Ireland, Greece is full of weaklings, and the weaklings are gonna make it to capsize. It's gonna drag everything together. If you got a statue and it's partly iron and partly clay, then it's gonna be easy to break that, because it's the clay is what ain't gonna hold it together.
Right.
The iron might not break, but the clay's gonna break, and then it's gonna divide up the kingdom, man. And Yahushua, well, Yahushua is gonna come back to do it militarily with his power, but it's happening first on an economical level.
Right.
Going up.
And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken.
Right.
And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay.
Right. Now let me get this next article now. Right, because that's basically what we're seeing right now. On the economic level, the EU is partly strong and partly weak. That's why you got the strong part, the Germany, as we just spoke about in the it was alluded to in the other article, talking shit about basically Greece and France and all these other parts, because every time a bailout is made, it's affecting them. They just want these fuckers to go down by themselves. They're saying, why these fuckers gotta go down? Why we gotta help bail them out? Because bailing them out ain't gonna save them. It's just putting ourselves in more problems. So that's why you got certain men saying they want to leave the Euro. They don't even want to have nothing to do with it. Germany want to leave. They want to go out on their own, because they think they're strong enough to make it on their own. Same with Belgium. But guess what? They're gonna get dragged down with everybody else, man. Right? You're gonna get dragged down with Greece. Right? Now this article is from the Evening Standard, standard.co.uk. It was released on the 22nd to 11th, 2010. And it says, Euro hit by fears over Irish government bailout crisis. The Euro fell this afternoon amid fears that Irish government might be unable to secure the budget vital to yesterday's IMF bailout package. So this was prior to them agreeing it. As part of the deal, which analysts at Goldman Sachs and Moody's today predicted would be worth about 95 billion in euro, Ireland had to commit itself to strict cuts in the country's budget. So they've already got this bailout. That's what I'm saying, man. To get this bailout now, you got to destroy your country, basically. Because the IMF, they're going to do what the IMF... Really, you're starting to eat your own self. Because the IMF's already done this to Nigeria, to damn near the whole of Africa, damn near most of South America, Jamaica, you know, name a third world country. The IMF's done that, giving them stupid bailouts of money they printed out of thin air, giving them stupid, they can never pay back, and then told them you got to put austerity measures on. Why do you think motherfuckers ain't building those schools in Jamaica, but they can build prisons and shit? Because that's what the IMF tell them to do. Why do you think they're not spending, the taxes are increasing in Jamaica, Trinidad, St. Lucia, but the people are not seeing the benefits of those taxes? Because the IMF say you got higher interest on your loan now, you need to get more revenue out of the people, and you need to spend less money on them, reduce your education, reduce your healthcare. Now you crackers, you don't know how to deal with that, man. That's why you're going to riot, man. That's why it's going to be chaos out in these fucking streets.
Right.
Right? Now let's move on to the chaos that's gonna come from it. Right? Brother, get me in the Apocrypha ark. Get me 2nd Ezra. You know I want chapter 15, man. In fact, hold on. Get me 2nd Ezra chapter 9 first, man. From the first verse, go down. Right? Because let me read this article. Right? This is from the Evening Standard, standard.co.uk. Student vandals turned second university fees protest violent. This happened yesterday. It says student clashed with police today as tens of thousands marched through London. Let me say that again. Tens of thousands marched through London in a second mass protest against tuition fees and university budget cuts. Right? Then conveniently Esau abandoned the fucking policeman and let them fuck up the policeman, and that's just going into provocateurism, man. You know? But this is showing you that this is just the students, man. It ain't gonna stop at the students. It ain't gonna stop at the students, man.
Right, man, like you saw in Greece, that was big men, man. Them truckers,
yeah,
all them dudes were grown men, and they weren't fucking with these feds, man. Like I was watching this protest last night. But yeah, man, these guys, you had like 6 police officers and a whole heap of students. But there was only about what 12, 13 police officers standing at one gate. Really, them man are on too much peace talk, because pretty soon those group of people, like you saw in Greece, man, they're gonna just brush those 12, 13 officers and walk past, like you saw them do in the bank the other day, man. They smashed that window and just went in the building.
Because, you know what, let me say this, right? You fucking police, right? You're stubble, man. You're really, let me break it down for the brothers out there, right? Esau's setting up these riots. Right. And he's setting up the violence, because why? How the fuck are you gonna man's gonna be vandalizing a police van and no police came and stopped that? What they're doing is, right, they're letting the public go to a certain level of violence. Then these police are gonna come down hard on your monkey asses, right? Then what's gonna happen is you're gonna go hard on the police. Now they're gonna leave the police unequipped, and you stupid fucking police out there, you're gonna get fucked up. Right, you are gonna get fucked. In fact, bro, just read this scripture, right? Read leave that. We're gonna get that next. Get me 2nd Exodus chapter 15. We're gonna come back to that. You fucking police, when the real riots start, when the famine hits and all that, you police are gonna get fucked up, and the elites want you to get fucked up, because you're not their real power. They want to release them robot armies they got and the military. They don't give a fuck about you little faggot police officers. You're just there to get killed so that they could have an excuse to bring in martial law.
Right, may I add this, bro? Yeah, man, because really it's a recompense upon your own head, man. So you're basically trying entrapment, yeah, by basically allowing the media to film, and obviously allowing it to continue, that people always, like, you wouldn't do that on a regular day, let people vandalize a police car on national TV. But here it is, you're letting that record build up so that you can place entrapment on, man. But then really, you're entrapping yourself. Because the so-called elites, man, they don't give a shit about your so-called police officers, man. Your everyday cracker, man. Or you everyday niggas, man.
You're gonna be it's chess. You're the pawns.
Right, man.
They got the pawns. They got the knights.
Right, man.
You got your pawns. You got your knights and whatever. Right. You're the pawns. Man sacrifice pawns all the time.
Right,
so
man.
You police are gonna get sacrificed to the mob. Then they can bring in the drones. Oh, the police are not able to handle the violence which is happening right now. We need to bring in the SAS.
Right, man, but like the elders
Special forces.
Like the elders say, man, the Most High is the ultimate strategist, man.
Yeah.
That's checkmate.
Yeah.
From the beginning of time, man. You didn't know, the Lord knew every move you made, man. The Lord told you to do that, man.
But Esau is the ultimate pawn, because he's gonna get fucking, he's expendable. Man. So go and read this right here, man.
16, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 16.
Right.
16. For there shall be sedition among men.
Right.
And invading one another.
Sedition, now that's what the article was just speaking about. Now let me say this, let me give more example. Right. You had Kyrgyzstan. Right. You got Greece. You got all the riots happening in Eastern Europe they're not telling you about. You had the pension riots in France. You had in Italy, you had students were rioting in Italy today. Right. You feel me? Now you can throw all these strikes in there. You can throw in that sedition that's going on in Brazil for the last couple of days, when that's how it's really gonna be. You see, because in Brazil, they've already skipped all the bullshit of having police. They have what's known as militarized police. See, them police in Brazil ain't no fucking police you get here in England. With just a badge, basic training.
A badge and a smile.
Like their training over here is to grab a nigga.
Yeah.
I've seen the training. They train them how to grab a man. Mm. Now them Brazilian mans ain't training to grab no one. They got a fucking M16 and they training to shoot you in the fucking head. and shoot to kill. That's what they want over here for you fuckheads in Britain, man.